collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
You see that gentleman right there? That is my hero. That is what is a mentor to me to this day, even though he has gone. He's like a Yoda to me. I still can hear his voice. Today is Martin Luther King's Day. You're probably getting this the day after Martin Luther King's Day because I work at night and I sleep during the day, and I try to do this stuff in between. But yeah, Dr. Martin Luther King, you know the history. I don't need to revamp the history, but there's a lot of things in history about Dr. King that people didn't understand. That yes, even though he was a Republican, which is totally different from the Republican Party today, just like the Democratic Party is not what they used to be. But it look like they're going back to the old Democratic Party if we don't kind of hold them accountable and push them to the highest. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a minister of love. And as you know me, I am a public speaker on the subject of loving people, encouraging and embracing people. If you go to many of the teachings of Dr. King, he talked about love for one another, loving even our enemies. He talked about loving white culture, even though a lot of white culture was oppressing and downtrodden the black race. He didn't preach hate. He didn't preach kill them all. He didn't preach that. He preached love. In a time where you want to knock somebody out, you want to take revenge, you want to stand up for yourself and say enough is enough and push back hard and push back just as aggressively as you have been pushed down. You want to get back and push the other person back down. Dr. King taught love and forgiveness and allowing God to use you to motivate and inspire and move others. If you've been watching my series on Make America Love Again, that is what it's all about. It's actually some of the teachings of Dr. King and the teachings of Jesus put together. Dr. King's teaching on love was the teaching of Jesus Christ. And even though a Republican, Dr. King pushed a lot about democratic socialism. He really believed that the most fortunate should care for and nurture the less unfortunate and bring them up. I just recently went over scripture, how one scripture said that God want to lift the poor and the downtrodden up and sit them among princes, kings, and things like that. And Dr. King believed that those who are in high positions should do whatever they can to help lift up people to a high position. People who are less than fortunate probably don't have the opportunities, probably don't have the brains or whatever. People who don't have the opportunity, people who don't have the breaks, people who don't have the ability to pay for the finest education and get the higher learning that a lot of our wealthy people get, and how to bridge that gap, how to bring universal health care and universal health care and universal education that can open a level playing field for the less unfortunate to come up and sit among the kings and the princes. Dr. King's teaching, if Dr. King was the president today, his teaching would be, hey, let's open up all the schools. Let's get money out the way. Let's give everybody opportunity to get some decent, high-quality education. So let's open up the public schools. Private schools, that's a different story. But let's open up the public school and give people of all races the same level of education as a rich white person. And not discounting the rich white person at that time. Dr. King recognized and even loved on the white people who hate his guts. He loved on. Dr. King would have been all about medical, getting the insurance companies out of the business of people's health care, people thriving, getting the money out of it, eliminating the middleman, and strictly have it be funded by the people. Dr. King was a person that believed America should take care of America. We should do this all together in one accord. And that was what the All I Have a Dream speech was all about. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take time and go over these messages of Dr. King, which I've heard over and over again, but it lifts me up even every time I hear them. He was against war. He was all about peace, and they hated him for that. Even L.B. Johnson called him the N-word because he figured that, hey, I gave this guy whatever he needed, and he's still a thorn in my flesh. Yes, you don't need to be going to war. Bring the troops home. We should be living in peace and harmony, and we should be caring for one another. Stay out of that mess. Stay in this mess and fix this first. So I appreciate Dr. King and his legacy. More important, like Dr. King was a Christian who loved the teachings of Jesus and spoke and teach and preach the teachings of Jesus. Unapologetic, no regrets, could care less what other people will say about him. I'm the same way. I don't apologize for the teachings that I've done concerning loving for all, loving for your neighbor, loving for yourself, loving for your God, and loving those who are unlovable, including our enemies, and how we should use that weapon of love to change the entire world, not the weapon of hate, the weapon of downtrodden, downcasting, outcasting, and domination and oppression from home and abroad. Dr. King was not that guy, and I'm working myself not to be that guy either. My whole entire political perspective is around that idea of Dr. King: love, peace, taking care of one another, loving one another, equal justice for all, equal rights for all, with all are one. So my hats out goes to this great man, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the man, the myth, the legend, the icon, the role model, one of the best role models that anybody of any color and any stature could ever have. Willing to die for the sake of lifting up all men. Just like Jesus Christ was willing to die for the sake of all men, lifting up all men. I am willing to die for the sake of lifting up all men. I don't want to, don't plan on it, and will fight you to live as long as I can. We'll fight. But if I'm going to go, it's going to be for teaching this message of love, compassion, caring and sharing for one another, lifting up one another, regardless of race, creed, culture, status. We are all one. I'm Robert Brown, and this is the official full-time segment of the Rob Report. Freedom on Fire is pretty much not going to be the name of the show anymore, because I believe in my power. I believe in the power of words, and I don't want our freedom to be on fire. And every time I mention that, I believe that you have what you say, and I don't want to keep saying our freedom is on fire. I really want to say our freedom is off the charts. Our freedom is great freedom. It's something that's going to promote freedom instead of talking about burning it up. So cool name, but the words are just too, just thinking about the words. And I know some people, I'm not, Rob, come on. No, I believe in the power of your words. I believe your words are power. And I do not want to be putting that out in the so-called universe or in the atmosphere that our freedom is on fire. And it may be on fire, literally, with what we have to work with right now. But it's time to turn that around. Our freedom has yet to have its best days, and the best days is yet to come. So I no longer could call it Freedom on Fire, but I will call it the Rob Report officially, and I will report on everything that I can, from local events to lifting people up in education, whatever. That's what I'm going to do. And get this, I am just a regular dude. Anyway, that's another story. I don't want to get on that. Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. Great. may we inspire to make a mark on this world that cannot be erased, just like Dr. King. This is Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching the webcast. By all means, make sure you like, subscribe, and share these videos. Go to YouTube right now and hit the notification button and hit the subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, by all means, there's a Patreon link. I will put a PayPal link, and the money toward that goes toward equipment, things like that. And last but not least, make sure you look at two sections down below. One is called Get to Know LS, the membership. The other one is Get to Know LS, the opportunity. What do you mean LS? LS is a program that called Legal Shield that I am an independent representative of. It has not, that company has nothing to do with my views. I fell in love with this program about a decade ago. I've been doing this for over a decade, offering the services to people to benefit and connecting people to the services, putting them in a position where equal justice under the law is not just on the Supreme Court building. It's actually becoming a reality in their lives by having this memberships. And this, with this organization, not only will you be able to know about your rights in a certain area, but you'll know about how to exert and execute your right with the power of attorney, top-rated attorney, backing you no matter where you go, without worrying about all this money coming out your pocket and things like that. So get to know LS, the member, financially. You can help contribute to this program by becoming a member. Some of the proceeds of being a member of LS goes toward Freedom on Fire and the Rob Report. I'm Robert Bob TV Brown. I thank you for being a huge support to what we do here. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.